Imagine a world where being called a hero isn't a compliment, it's a death sentence. We're diving into Sentenced to be a Hero, a place where the greatest honor you can receive is actually the most brutal punishment imaginable.
This one line says it all, doesn't it? It just completely flips everything we think we know about heroism right on its head. Forget getting a medal or a parade. In this world, being a hero means you're considered completely and utterly disposable.
So, what exactly is a penal hero? Well, think of it as a prison sentence that never, ever ends. These are criminals who are forced to fight an unwinnable war on the front lines. And here's the kicker. They can't even die to get out of it. They're just brought back to life over and over again to fight and die for all eternity.
All right, to really wrap your head around why a society would create something as twisted as the penal hero system, you've got to understand the enemy they're up against. This isn't just some ordinary war. It's a desperate fight for survival against a literal plague from hell.
This enemy is called the Demon Blight. It's this terrifying, supernatural corruption that spreads from these almost godlike beings called demon lords. And it doesn't just kill you. No, it warps and twists everything it touches, the land, the animals, even people, into these monstrous things called fairies.
You know, the really tragic part? Humanity basically did this to themselves. For over 400 years, the demon blight was just a scary story parents told their kids. So, when it popped up again 20 years ago, everyone just wrote it off as rumors. By the time they realized it was real, it was way too late.
So, in this desperate losing war, humanity is forced to rely on two totally different kinds of soldiers. You've got the ones they honor and the ones they condemn. Now, at the very top of the food chain, you have the goddesses. And these are not beings you pray to, oh no. They are living, breathing weapons of war. When an elite holy knight makes a pact with one, they get these unbelievable powers, making them humanity's ultimate ace in the hole.
And this right here, this chart lays out the central conflict of this world perfectly. On one side, you've got the holy knights. They're revered, they're protected, they fight for glory. And on the other side, the penal heroes, despised, expendable, and just fighting to see the next sunrise. They're doing the same job, but they're treated like they're not even the same species.
So, let's meet the actual motley crew of criminals at the very center of this story. And trust me, this is no band of brothers. This is a squad of convicts.
I mean, just look at this roster. It's a who's who of society's absolute worst. You've got a master thief, a con man who tried to sell the royal castle, a terrorist who thinks he's a king, some silent guy who's just a beast in a fight, and their leader, a man convicted of the one crime nobody thought was possible.
And that leader is our main guy, Xylo Forbarts. What makes his crime so shocking is that he wasn't always a criminal. Nope. He used to be an elite captain of the Holy Knights. But now, he's famous for one thing and one thing only: murdering the very goddess he was sworn to protect.
As if things weren't chaotic enough, you can throw Tearita, the goddess of swords, into this mess. She gets stolen by the team's thief and somehow ends up making a pact with Xylo. All of a sudden, the guy known for killing a goddess is now bonded to a new one. It's a partnership that's as powerful as it is completely unstable.
But this story is about so much more than just fighting monsters. See, Xylo and his crew are trapped in a system that is actively trying to get them killed, and it all goes back to his past.
The key to this whole conspiracy is buried in Xylo's official trial record. On the surface, it tells the story of a traitor, but if you dig a little deeper, the truth is way, way uglier. You have to remember, before he was branded a criminal, Xylo was the real deal. He was a celebrated captain, totally dedicated to his duty and to his goddess, Sinerva. He was a hero, in the way we think of a hero.
So how did he fall so far? It wasn't his fault. It was a setup, a complete betrayal. Military command sent him on a so-called rescue mission, but the army he was supposed to save, it never existed. The backup they promised him never came. It was a trap, plain and simple, designed to get his entire unit wiped out. He was backed into a corner and forced to make an impossible choice. Kill his goddess, Sinerva, himself, or watch the Blight take her and turn her into a monster.
At his trial, Xylo tried to tell everyone the truth. He was screaming that there was a conspiracy, that powerful people in the military and the temple were pulling the strings, sacrificing their own soldiers. But of course, no one listened. They shut him up, found him guilty, and sentenced him to be a hero. Which brings us right to their current assignment: defend Murid Fortress. The official orders make it sound all heroic and crucial, but Xylo knows better. It's just another execution, planned by the very same people who betrayed him the first time.
The real plan is, well, it's monstrous. Command's plan is to lure an unstoppable demon lord to the fortress, let the penal heroes and anyone else stupid enough to be there get slaughtered holding it back, and then, once the fighting is done, they're going to unleash a poison attack to kill everything left standing, demon and hero alike. They're not soldiers, they're just bait.
So what do you think happens when these disposable pawns figure out they're being sent to their own funeral? They decide to stop playing the game.
Instead of just marching quietly to his death, Xylo makes a different choice. He decides he's going to win this impossible battle, not just to survive, but to shove it right in the faces of the commanders who left him for dead.
And what's really amazing is that Xylo and his unit of outcasts, they actually inspire others to join them. You've got other disgraced knights, some miners they saved earlier, a whole army of misfits rallies to defend the fortress, fighting a war on two fronts, against the demons outside the walls and the conspiracy within their own ranks.
And against every single odd, against the master plan of their own military command, they do the impossible. They don't just hold the line, they win. They save the fortress.
This whole thing leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? In a world where the official good guys are corrupt and the whole system is rigged, maybe, just maybe, the only people who can be true heroes are the criminals who have nothing left to lose.